Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out it was my Coffee Mate. Coffee Mate Pina Colada and Thai iced coffee flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.
Today we're going to be covering a very simple process that I took on myself to finally come to an awareness and an answer to one of life's biggest questions. What is my purpose? What is my dharma? Welcome to my channel. My name is Dulce Candy and I am so excited to have you guys. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you guys that we have a retreat happening to Oaxaca, Mexico in June 2025. We have some early bird special discounts, so if you guys are interested in joining us, as a community here at Sweet Soul, we're going to be traveling the world. This year we're going to Costa Rica, next year we're going to Oaxaca, and we're going to go to Europe and Bali and Morocco. I mean, we're going to go everywhere that we can possibly go as a group. So our next destination, since Costa Rica is sold out, is going to be Oaxaca, Mexico. If you want to check out the full itinerary, I did a whole video on that. So I will link it down below. Also in the comment section, I'm going to link the direct link that you guys can book and reserve your spot for the retreat. It's still a little over a year in advance, but I want to make sure that you guys are a part of this community and are able to join us in Oaxaca and Costa Rica and all of the beautiful countries that we're going to be traveling together as a community. So in today's video, we're going to be covering 3 major topics. I also want you to have your journal ready because I am going to be giving you guys some journal prompts that are specific to these questions. And I really want you guys to take the time to sit down and go through the process with me as I'm going through this video, because this is not one of those videos that you just kind of play in the background. You really, if you are interested in discovering your purpose, this is something that you want to watch and stop and journal and answer some questions and take some notes. This is a really great and simple strategy that I use to discover my own dharma. I am in school to become a Chopra coach, and this is one of our cornerstones. And so everything that I'm learning, of course, I'm so passionate about teaching it to you guys. So we're going to go through 3 major topics. I have all of my notes here. So if you see me looking down, this is what I'm looking at. We're going to start off with discussing our purpose, our dharma. Also, we're going to go through major archetypes, and then we're going to discover and talk about our legacy, the global impact that we want to have, and also the social impact that we want to have. So let's begin by defining what dharma is. The word dharma can be used and defined differently, right? In Buddhism, in Hinduism, and other religions, it's defined in different ways. But today we're going to be discussing and defining dharma as our purpose, what we're meant to be doing in this world with our natural talents and abilities. And so we have 2 dharmas. We have our big dharma, our big purpose, our big dharma, which is the realization that we are more than humans. That is the first purpose that we have when we come into this earth, is realizing that we are more than our physical body, that we are pure awareness, and we have this realization through our spiritual practices, but more so through our meditation journey, where we're able to go into the place in between our thoughts and reach a place of complete stillness, infinite possibilities, and silence, and just awareness of not one thing in particular, but of just everything, right? It's a different level of consciousness. That is our first big dharma. And then we have our little d, our little dharma. And the little dharma is what we're going to focus on today, on discovering. And this is what we're going to be using to serve the world, right? Or the people, or a community, or our families, or ourselves. Our big dharma is never going to change. This is something that is always going to stay the same. However, our smaller purpose is going to change as we grow, as we evolve, as we try new things, as we redefine what we want to do in this planet. So that is going to be always changing. So when you discover your dharma, I want you to know that this is not something that you're going to stick to forever. It could just be a season of your life. And maybe as you start to experience different things and get older, your energy and your intention and your focus is going to go to maybe a different group of people. Maybe you went from serving children to serving homeless people or animals and just switching, right? That is completely normal. This is not something that's going to be like set in stone. Now, why do we want to find our purpose? For instance, there's a lot of people who have obtained incredible amounts of success. They've achieved every business goal, career goal. They have a lot of money. They have a specific lifestyle that they wanted to obtain. They have financial security. They have beautiful relationships, but they feel empty inside. One of those reasons why we tend to feel empty when we reach all of these things is because we're focused on ourselves. We're not focused on serving other people. In order for us to come out of this state of our ego where it's all about us, what can I achieve, what can I gain from everything that I'm doing, it's me, focusing our energy and our gifts to serve other people is going to leave us so incredibly satisfied. As a little side note, there's a story of a woman, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's a young woman in her 20s who has dealt with depression her whole entire life. And she is now considering end-of-life treatment where if she gets approved by 3 doctors, they can actually basically put her to sleep like they would an animal. And she has, made that decision for herself. And I'm also someone who has dealt with depression, chronic depression, since I was a little girl. And I really started thinking that as long as I have a human physical body, I'm still able to serve. And the moments where I feel the lowest is when I'm so focused on myself and in my own brain. And so this is not to discount her story because I haven't even done like full research on, why she feels the need to end her life at such a young age, even though she's not, terminally ill or anything like that, but she just can't live with the torment of depression, which is very overwhelming, right? But I think an antidote to that is servitude, is putting your attention into other causes and your energy and your time and your body and contributing that to the world outside of you. Because in depression, we're so focused in here, right? We live in the brain. We're not focused and we don't live out here. We live in our brain. So now let's talk about archetypes. So there was a psychologist by the name of Carl Jung who actually identified several different symbols, characters that reside within the collective unconscious mind of all humanity. So we're not going to go through the extensive list. I'm actually going to write it down in the description part of this video if you guys want to go through it, but I highly encourage you guys to look them up so you can do a deep dive on this process. But we're going to go through just a few, and the reason that we're focusing on an archetype is because it's always so helpful for us to see ourselves reflected on other humans, right? So think about the times that we're focusing on judging other people, right? When we're judging someone else, we are actually seeing ourselves in that person. So we're going to take that same approach and focus on the positive aspects, just like when you see a celebrity or a Selena Gomez or a Beyonce and you see something about them that just really resonates with you. That's because you're actually seeing a part of yourself in them. This is why human connection is so important and why we connect with certain people and we don't with others, is because we're able to see ourselves in them, and we see parts of ourselves that we haven't even allowed ourselves to explore we see them how other people are using that. Now, an archetype doesn't necessarily mean that this is the type of person that you have to aim to become. It's just to kind of be aware of what are these qualities of these people that I really admire, whether they are a celebrity or whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, a character on a movie, whatever it is. These are all archetypes. So the first thing I want you to do is to make a list of the people who inspire you or you admire. And I want you to brainstorm as many people that just pop into your brain. And I also don't want you to place any judgment as to why this person popped up, because sometimes, someone pops up in your brain that you really admire, but maybe they didn't turn out to be who you thought they were going to be, but there's certain qualities that you do like about that person. So without any judgment, they could be alive, they could be dead, fictional or real characters, pop icons, superheroes, movie characters. Just make a list. Now I want you to sit with that list, and I want you to pick out 3 people out of that entire list that you really feel a kindred spirit to, the one that really resonates with you the most above all of them. And now I want you to write out a title that you would give to each of these people. And it's not like CEO or anything, just like a title of how you view them. I view them as a teacher, as an educator, as an optimist. Think about the words that you would use to describe that person, for example, if you were introducing them at a dinner party. Okay, so now we're going to go back to those 3 people and we're going to look at their special power. What is their unique talent, their strength, or like their winning formula? And don't try to look for any kind of like special power, like, they just got an amazing voice. That's their talent, but maybe you're not a singer. You don't want to be a singer, but there's something else about this person that just really attracts you to them. I'll give you an example. I love Eva Longoria. I think she's an incredible woman. One thing I love about her is that she's very bold. One time she was on The View, and the women on The View tend to overtalk their guests a lot. And one of the women was trying to interrupt Eva Longoria in the middle of her sentence. And she's like, let me finish my sentence and then I'll let you talk. She's like, let me finish. She didn't let someone just walk all over her, interrupt her, cut her off. And I loved that about Eva Longoria, that she stood up for herself. She was not afraid to tell another woman, let me finish, interrupting me is rude. And the reason that I admired that so much about her was because I was in a point in my life several years ago where I had a hard time speaking up for myself when someone was being rude. So I was just drawn to that energy of Eva Longoria because I was like, I admire that quality. And that is also a special power. Now we're going to get into legacy and impact. A really great way to look at this is to reflect and journal about what it would be like to be on your deathbed. What would people say about you when you die? Are people even going to show up to your funeral? Are my nieces and nephews going to have kind things to say about their aunt or their uncle? Were you kind to them, or are you not kind? Do you feel like in your deathbed you are going to be looking back at your life, God willing, you lived a really long life, and you're going to be able to say, wow, I really made an impact in this world. An impact doesn't have to be ending child trafficking, ending world hunger, or ending war, right? The impact can literally start with your household. The truth is that you don't have to wait until you're 80 or 90 years old in a deathbed to have made an impact or a legacy. The truth of the matter is that you are making an impact right now. Whether it's a positive or negative impact, you are making an impact. We all are. Again, we have our global and social impact. So the global impact is the impact that we want to have on the entire world, the difference that we want to make. And it doesn't have to be something grand. It can also just be in your own community, or even smiling at someone. That could make a global impact, believe it or not, because every action does have a ripple effect. You never know if a simple smile to a stranger who was very depressed could have been that moment that changed his decision to end his or her life in that moment. And maybe they had a big aha, an epiphany in that moment, and they decided to change their life for the better. And now they're going to be impacting people in a better way because maybe they want to help others who are also dealing with depression, right? So we never really truly know the impact that we are having, but it's really great for us to have an idea of the kind of impact that we do want to have in this world. And social impact is, and I want you to answer this question, what group of people or beings, or maybe even the planet, Mother Earth, where am I being called to serve? Where do I have this natural inclination to help people? Where do I feel the most empathy? And when I do help, where do I feel energized? I'm going to ask you a few questions and I want you to answer them. You can pause the video. I will also write them down below so you guys can just copy and paste. If you had $1 million to donate to one cause, what would it be and why? This is a really great way for you to figure out what is your global and social impact. What form of injustices do you feel like you really want to address? What is the difference that you feel called to make in this world? And the last question that is going to help you discover the impact and legacy that you want to leave behind on this earth is, what do you want to be remembered for 30 years after your death? So we're going to continue this workshop and we're going to be writing down our purpose statement. And this is something that is going to really help you, give you direction and alignment, and also an awareness of where you need to focus your energy day in and day out. On a future video, we're actually going to talk about how do we enact our purpose in the world? How do we start living in alignment and on purpose? So now I want you to go back to the list of people that you wrote down earlier, and I want you to pick out one person, or maybe you can mix and match a few people if you would like. So I want you to pick out the title that you chose for each person and one special power of that person that just really resonates with you. And I want you to write down also the impact that you want to have in this world. And I want you to fill in this sentence. I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Archetype name, who uses, special power. 2, legacy impact. This is your purpose statement. Off the top of my head, this is an example so you guys can have an idea. I'm going to fill in the blanks for you guys. I am the hero who uses her special teaching and leadership powers to create a world where children are safe from child trafficking, harm, abuse, and neglect. That is my purpose. As an example, right? So now that you have this every single day, you're going to wake up and that is your purpose. That is your mission and your vision and why you wake up and you breathe outside of the people that you love, right? Because I wake up for my family, my children. But there's also a purpose. There's also a reason why I want to use this physical body to serve. This is why God gave me this body, to serve humanity. So now that I know what my purpose is, now I can wake up and every action, every business that I take on, everything that I put my energy to is going to get me closer to making sure that I am living on my purpose, that I am making an impact. And that leads to a life of fulfillment. Fulfillment. And you know that when you get to your deathbed, you know that you're going to be looking back and you know that you have made a difference in this world. I want to encourage all of you guys watching this video to really embark on this journey of self-discovery. With a lot of courage, it's going to take courage. And just have an open heart. I really recommend meditation for this practice. I am going to be uploading also a meditation to really integrate your purpose. But meditation is going to allow you to get to that place where you can have higher connection, where you're able to get answers that you otherwise would not have without the ego clouding our judgment. Our ego is ever present and we love it and we cherish it for what it does for us, but we have to lead a life beyond our ego self, our true self, right? Going into that place where we discover what our real purpose in life is to discover that we are one with the creator of this entire universe. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I would love to hear your feedback on this video. This is kind of like one of the first videos of a long series that I have planned out for all of you guys. So I really want to hear your feedback. If this video was helpful, I would love if you guys can subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss any new content that I will be uploading here. And also don't forget, you can join our retreat to Costa Rica in 2025. I'm so excited to host you guys, to see you, to connect with you. And thank you all so much for joining me. And I am so proud of you for doing the work and sitting here and actually taking time for yourself to discover and serve the world. So I just want to say that this is something so incredibly beautiful that you are doing and taking a time to do so. So with that being said, have a blessed and beautiful day. And I can't wait to read your comments and what you have to say about today's video down in the comments section. So I will see you there. Have a blessed and beautiful day.